now need to start gathering information from the user and give this application a bit of functionality. So above the body, in what I refer to as the brain of the application, we're going to create a state variable called counter. And it's going to be a CG float, which equals 1 to start with. The word state is placed there to indicate that this variable that will change is going to change the state of the screen. Currently, when we tap on the user interface, none of the values change. This is because currently it's a constant of 3 and a constant of 5. The word constant means not changing. So we're now using a variable, a value that can change. And when the variable changes, it's going to change the state of the screen. So inside of our counter, I'm going to put \counter inside the speech marks, so that the counter, the value of the counter, will be placed inside the label. Now, as this is a CG float, a float being a decimal number, it places a number of decimal places at the end by default. To remove those, we'll place the counter inside an integer. An integer is a whole number, and therefore we'll remove the extra decimal places. You can see here we have brackets encasing the counter and int at the front. Just be careful with the number of brackets that you place. With each closing bracket, you can see it highlights the opening, and vice versa with the outside one. We're going to do the same thing here for the goal. Int goal, and that now places the goal. Except we have an error. Use of unresolved identifier goal. This is the computer saying, I don't know what goal is. At state var goal is going to be a CG float, which equals 5. This error will now go away because the computer now knows what goal is. It's a variable, it's a CG float, its value is 5. I'm now going to change the constant into $counter. This makes the value of the stepper the value of the counter. And the $sign tells that this view, this stepper, is allowed to change the value of the counter. Without the $sign, you'd get an error and the stepper would not be able to change the value. $sign goal for the goal. That differs to where we've placed it in the label. We're only displaying the counter in our label. We're not modifying it, so we don't put a $sign. When we run this again, we end up with 1 and 5, and as I tap the user interface, it changes the values of our variables.